viewers, supporters, new subscribers. We are just getting into the nitty-gritty of the series, The Pathway to a Transformed Africa. And this episode is also a continuation of the last episode with the topic, Why Leadership Matters. I welcome all of you. Thank you for joining me, especially our new subscribers and those of you who have already been following and supporting this channel. We are so grateful to you and grateful to your support. Thank you. I don't know, I cannot do this without your help, without your support, and I'm so grateful that you are committed to journey with me in this process. If you have been following closely, you will know that by now that Gates of Transformation is a platform where we commit to bring content to upgrade the skills of leaders and citizens of nations and help everyone to continue to contribute meaningfully to the transformation of our societies and nations. If this interests you, welcome on board, and thank you for being here. Well, in the last episode, we literally peeled the layers of colonization. So since this segment is dedicated to Africa, let me be bold to speak to Africans. Listen, the effects of colonialism cannot be underestimated. Just like the people featured in the slavery story that I recounted in the last episode, Africa also went through slavery. And even though countries have been granted independence decades ago, we are still living with colonialism. It's happening today. We are living with it. Right now, as we speak, the African Union theme for 2025 is justice for Africans and people of African descent through reparations. And this is what I believe. If we are talking about justice and reparations today, it means that there is still some unfinished business between the colonizer and the colonized. There is unfinished business. This is what I mean by we are granted independence, but we are still in colonialism because we are dealing with the after effects. So while we are on the hot topic of Africa being freed from the control, from the influence and grip of the West, we must be truthful to ourselves to admit that we don't even want to be free. When you look at it, from my view, it looks like Africa doesn't even want to be free. That's right. I want you to see this. Freedom comes at a cost. And in my view, that's an invoice and a bill that most of the current leaders in many countries in the African nations are not willing to own. They're not willing to own the invoice or own the bill. That's why freedom cannot be experienced at the extent that we want to. Case in point, I want you to scan across the many African countries today and tell me, who owns the factories and processing plants? Who is managing the major logistical companies, whether it's transportation, cargoes, and ports? Who owns the construction companies and large charitable organizations? Who builds our roads? Who funds or provides the funding for the conferences, the youth programs, the political campaigns, the incubator labs, the education projects, and the women's projects in Africa? Who provides the funding? the very people that we are holding conferences about, the very people that we are organizing forums and international meetings about, and writing libraries of reports and communique about, are the very ones we depend on for the development that we ascribe to our leaders. Some of the people that we're discussing, the quote-unquote colonizers, are even privileged to be tasked with drafting the agenda for these meetings. In some cases, they serve as panelists or moderators and even present the resolutions from what we gathered from that meeting. Think about that. How can you be discussing a particular group of people and strategizing on how to be free from them, or how to execute justice and reparations, but they are the moderators, the panelists, the ones that draft the agenda. They gather all the feedback from the event and put together the resolution, and they even draft the communique speaking on behalf of Africa. Does that really make sense? The truth is this: to be free, we have to be able to build our own economies and financial portfolios. That's just the truth. One of my mentors once shared with us during a session, and he said, we can never say no to Pharaoh when we depend on his paycheck. We cannot say no to Pharaoh if Pharaoh is feeding us. And I say this to us in the African continent: we will not experience freedom and independence until we decide to wean ourselves of the king's delicacies. That's right. Because the one who feeds us will continue to control us from within and from afar. That's what we are seeing today. This is why leadership matters in Africa. The type of leadership that will bring us out of this condition. We need the type of leadership that is executed with 4 key approaches. Approach number 1, a clear vision. Not just one that is captured in a manifesto or in the National Development Plan. We need the vision that facilitates transformation. And this type of vision should be articulated on paper, but also executed. That's approach number 1. Approach number 2, we need inclusivity in our leadership. Leadership that will invite everyone to the table to participate and contribute. This practice that we have in Africa of excluding certain groups of people and even opposition party members are also excluded in the leadership and development process. It is really affecting us. Everyone should be given a seat at the table. There should be equal representation. We cannot continue to invite outsiders to the table of planning and decision-making while excluding citizens from the opportunity to contribute meaningfully. We are very okay in Africa, very comfortable to invite international outside consultants to come in and consult, to tell us what to do to fix our nations. When we have locals, we have citizens, we have indigents who are very knowledgeable about the issues and can proffer a solution. We need to be inclusive. Approach number 3, we need to embrace innovation and creativity. Innovation and creativity needs to be at the center of national development plans and programs. The innovation and creativity industry is an economy because in most African nations with a vibrant youth population, this industry is yielding huge dividends to the economy. Whether they are in the fashion design industry, whether they are in the music, whether they are in the art, whether they are in the technology field, it is yielding high economic dividends. Nothing revolutionizes a nation, this industry, better than technology. If African nations can fix the internet issues and the data cost in Africa, they will give the young people the ability to leverage digital tools to scale up the already booming art and entertainment gate of influence in their nations. That's right. Huge investment is needed in this sector, coupled with well-structured training and mentorship programs, which will alleviate the unemployment crisis in Africa. I hope you can hear me well. If your leader is not here and your leaders are not hearing this episode, this podcast, I mean, this segment, share with them. Approach number 4. We need a robust system of governance where accountability and patriotism are at the epicenter of leadership. We need accountability. I want you to listen to me very carefully. I cannot end this episode without highlighting another negative effect of colonialism in the African nations. First, most nations in the continent went through years of being ruled by the colonial master. Then the situation changed. We were introduced to a distasteful leadership practice where presidents want to rule and remain in power beyond the designed or agreed upon term, which in most cases comes with repercussions, such as division. Everywhere people hog the seat and are not willing to leave, it brings division in the nation. It breeds instability. It causes uprisings. It breeds increased chaos, increased corruption, economic stagnation, and even stifled advancement. These are the repercussions for hogging the leadership seat. Governance cannot be overemphasized, and that's where I will begin the next episode. We will be talking about governance. That's right. But for this, the last episode and this one, I wanted to really hone on the effects of colonialism. Even the system, the hunger that Africans have for power is evidence that colonialism has really destroyed the African mindset. That people were in bondage for so long that now they are hungry to be in power. And this hunger is what is affecting us because it causes leaders who are incapable, who are done, who have finished the race to keep being recycled into the system. And they cannot influence change. They cannot influence transformation. They are done. When you reach the end of the race, you pass the baton. That's what healthy leaders do. Governance cannot be overemphasized. And that's where the next segment will begin. But until then, I encourage you to keep the likes, to keep the comments and subscriptions going to support this channel. Also, remember to please visit our website where you can access resources, books for your leadership and personal development, and also access our services our speaking, coaching, training, and consulting services. I look forward to coming your way soon with another episode, still in the series, The Pathway to a Transformed Africa. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.